Got a question for you. Do you feel that HOAs are oppressive, restrictive, totalitarian? Well, if you're a Florida resident, your day of freedom has just arrived. It's time to start leaving your trash cans out. Put your pickup in the driveway, because some new laws have just passed here in Florida, and they go into effect in July. Christmas is coming early.
Literally drove us out of here.
Families say they were forced to move from their North County homes or live in fear of retaliation from their Homeowners Association.
You know, the Homeowners Association was created to maintain the continuity and uniformity within a neighborhood.
Homeowners associations are run by a board of directors that's made up of volunteers who own property in the community. The HOA typically handles communal responsibilities, which can vary from managing amenities such as swimming pools to making sure property owners follow home maintenance rules.
They collect monthly dues to take care of all of the common area maintenance, the lawn cutting, cleaning the pool down at the clubhouse. But the HOA has a tendency to attract people that are a little on the controlling side. People with strong opinions about what you can and cannot do.
A homeowner is up in arms tonight after he says his neighborhood association crossed the line using Google's satellite technology to scope out a violation.
If you live in an HOA community, you know how restrictive they can be sometimes.
Ever wonder where the term condo commando came from? It seemed like everybody who's ever lived in an HOA has some type of horror story about, petty fines, overbearing rules, inflexibility, and harassment.
Years after buying this property, the Henrys received a letter from their homeowners association
saying that they were doing an audit, and they noticed that I had a shed in my backyard and it wasn't approved by my homeowners association.
Gavin, who is a disabled veteran, told the HOA the shed was there before he bought the property, and none of his neighbors have ever complained. That's when he was told it was now his responsibility to remove or change it or else.
Restrictions on what your house and yard can look like. Even the lack of transparency regarding the budget. Many people living in HOAs describe it as a grind, being under the watchful eye of other people with a lot of free time on their hands. But I've got some good news for you. Unlike the justice system in New York, here in Florida, we believe in the equal application of the law, fairness for all. And these out-of-control HOAs, well, they're about to get a smackdown. And it's long overdue.
One of the most popular stories on our clickorlando.com website right now is about all of the new laws going into effect in Florida on July 1st.
The new bill just signed by Governor Ron DeSantis is going to change a lot of things for the average homeowner who lives within an HOA, and it goes into effect July 1st. House Bill 1203. It was one of many HOA bills introduced into legislation here in Florida, but it happens to be one of the most wide, sweeping new laws that we have, and it's taken on the name of the Homeowners Bill of Rights. I talked about these HOA bills in a previous video, and if you haven't watched it, I will stick it at the end. There are several laws that went into place at the beginning of this year, but these new laws that I'm going to talk about right now, they're the ones that are most important. These new laws address some of the most complained about issues that people face when living within an HOA. So, do you want to know what the HOAs can't do anymore? Well, let's see. As of July 1st, 2024, HOAs will be prohibited from enforcing rules on some residents, but not others. banning homeowners or their invited guests from parking personal, business, or first responder vehicles, including pickup trucks, that are non-commercial in their driveways. Banning contractors or workers from a homeowner's property. Fining residents for leaning garbage cans out by the curb within a 24-hour period. Fining residents for leaving up holiday lights or decorations past the HOA's rules without prior notice, after which the homeowner will have 1 week to take the stuff down. Limiting or creating rules for the inside of structures that isn't visible from the street. Here's a good one. Banning vegetable gardens or clotheslines. Oh, that's going to kill the HOA. Can you imagine? Got your drawers hanging out on a clothesline? I find that hysterical. Okay, I did read further. If it can't be seen from the street, a neighbor's property, or an adjacent common area, like if you're in a golf course community. So you can put your clothesline up, but it needs to be in a very inconspicuous place. Require review and approval of plans for a central air conditioner. Yeah, that's silly. Or a refrigerator, heating and ventilation systems that isn't visible from the street or a neighbor's property or adjacent common areas. So I guess in some communities they were saying if you wanted to change your air conditioner out, you had to get the HOA's approval. And that's kind of silly. And if a construction or improvement request is denied, the HOA also must provide a written notice stating specifically why it was declined and exactly what rule under the HOA's covenants that it falls under. The laws covering transparency are interesting. Every HOA must keep their official records. You know, the bylaws, amendments, articles of incorporation, declaration of covenants, the rules, meeting minutes, copy of their insurance policy, contracts, financials, budgets, their tax returns, and their voting records. All of these must be kept for a period of 7 years. And if they destroy any of these records during that time period, it equates to a first-degree misdemeanor. You know, if you're anything like me, you've probably lost all faith in the justice system nationwide. You look at all these other states, some of the stuff that they do, like no cash bail, or just making up fake charges and charging people. I feel like here in Florida, we at least have some common sense. We listen to our residents. Our residents were heard, and now we put some laws into place. You know, based upon the comments on my last video about HOAs, I really get the impression that most people don't like them. And they don't like them a lot. And I had many people say they would never live in an HOA. So I got a question for you. Now, with all these new laws that went into place that have taken some of the teeth out of those HOA rules, would you? Would you ever live in an HOA here if you lived in Florida? Knowing that, you know, we reined it in. We expect them to have some common sense now. Inquiring minds want to know. There's no right or wrong answer here. You either would or you wouldn't. You know, I sell a lot of real estate in neighborhoods that have HOAs. And the newer ones, they're not so bad. It's really the ones that have been around for decades, with board members that have been around for decades. Well, those are the ones that are most problematic. However, with these new laws, it seems like a lot of their trivial rules have gone out the window. And that, my friends, is a good thing. So let it rip. Tell me what you think. I do love reading your comments. And for those of you who are still watching, I love you too. Time is precious, and you gave me some of yours today, and I thank you for that. Now you can do a couple of things for me. You can hit that like button because it will help share this information with people that are interested in this topic. You can also subscribe if you haven't already done so, because I would love to see you here again. And you can watch this next video right here because it was meant for you. And as always, stay informed, stay safe, stay free.